Welcome to another episode of the Mike Cook Guys Quarantine Sessions. And I figured timing-wise it's best to do this episode now because if I were to wait on 4th of July or do it after 4th of July, most likely you guys are going to be either hungover or you're going to be too busy partying to even care about this episode. So at least I got you now good and sober because some of you might be going on a 3-day weekend. So of course, once this get released tomorrow morning on YouTube, at least that gives you something to help with your traveling. And of course, as always, I'm your host, Mike Cook, leader of the Mike World Order. You know, as always, I'm that guy. So appreciate everyone who's on Facebook Live listening. A few things I want to mention before I get started on tonight's episode. For starters, it feels like every week the events that are going on in this world, well, our country, have gotten more and more chaotic. And I'm just hoping that I'm not saying what you should do. I'm not saying what you shouldn't do. I'm just saying do the right thing. That's all. That's all I'm asking. You know. Also, appreciate a lot of people who have made recent purchases of the Mike World Order shirt. And yes, I did botch what I just said. But recently, while I was having a conversation with this one lovely friend of mine, Chantel, up in London, Ontario. I'm pretty sure she's listening to the live show. We were just having like random conversation, and I was talking about the whole Mike World Order concept and, you know, stuff like that. And we had a conversation, and I'm not going to go into full detail, but it was about being free. And I was like, okay, we were just joking, then all of a sudden it just hit me. Hold up. So you know how people were going through that trend of the keep calm and chive on, or keep calm and, you know, do all these different things, but primarily everyone was doing the whole keep calm, and it was annoying as hell. So it's like, what if I started my own? So instead of, you know, keep calm and carry on, we came up with the idea of be free and hashtag join Mike World Order. That shirt got released yesterday, and already I've had a sale on it. So much appreciations to you and your genius idea, because I would have not came up with that. Like literally, we were just having like a random conversation, then it just started clicking and clicking more to where it was like, hold up, let me put this together. So I started putting it together, and I was like, hey, what do you think? She's like, that's good, and that was pretty fast. And I was like, yeah, take the initiative when it's fresh on your mind. And also shout out to my boy Paul Tarango, who's also my trivia tag partner. After the episode, we have our segment on Facebook Live, the post show, which is entitled hashtag WTFIPTA. I'll let you guys figure that out. It's too long for me to explain, but we also got that going on. Also shout out to Mike Freeland over at Front Row Material Podcast with Mikey Whipwreck and Jerry Lynn. Once again, both guys, all three men, did like a shout out on an episode, and it was funny because Mikey Whipwreck always says purposely Mike Unit, because of my Twitter handle being at one Mike Unit, because Mike World Order got taken. So I came up with one Mike Unit, and he always kept saying Mike Unit, but he kept saying it in a way of saying my unit and not Mike Unit. So because of that, it was too hilarious of mentioning that, you know. And also, anyone who's into wrestling trivia, you know, if you got a little free time going on, my buddy, you know, Ray McElman, did I pronounce that right? McElman. He has a promotion as well too. where he does trivia and all that, and I'll mention it. But I forgot the name. I think it's called EWO. It was called PWC or PWQ. It was one of them. But he also does that. If you're interested, join it. And it's funny, on Facebook Live, he actually spelled it out what the post-show hashtag means. But usually it's a live video show where me and Paul just shoot the shit, and who knows, we might end up doing it as a separate podcast, as part of the Mike Cook Guy's brand show. But anywho, like I said, it's been a very interesting week. I was in South Carolina for a few days. For starters, I can understand why people say older people love having the house hot. It's like, come on, man. It's like 100 degrees in good old Beaufort, and it's not helping that you got the house between 75 and 80 degrees, man. So with that going on, it was like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. And then at the same time, I'm also carrying the body weight of a little baby who's warm. And but don't get me wrong, when it comes to that little baby, I will hold her for hours and hours and hours until she's ready to get fussy and complain. And I'm cool with it. So it was a good time, even though I was mostly home, And when you're going through a pandemic like this, you don't want to go anywhere. Like, even when it came to putting gas in the car. And I guess it can be a good attest to the evolution of how cars are these days. Just for a 7-hour drive, I only stopped once to get gas. And I was at a quarter of a tank when I got gas. And the only reason I stopped to get gas, because right across the street was Bojangles. Because 1, there was carbs. 2, I haven't had Bojangles in so long. Because ever since I've been doing this keto diet, I started in November, and up until now, I dropped about close to 65 pounds. So I'm pretty much back at the weight I was 4 years ago when I moved to Virginia. So I can fit back into the clothes I had when I moved to Virginia, and that's mind-blowing. Although the other day, I've been very bad with eating, and I blame Chantel for that, because she always be hitting me up talking about rice and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, all of a sudden I want some fried rice. Like, there's a meme that says you got that one friend who makes you break your diet. Between her, little Daryl, and the Haitian Gladiator, y'all are a bad influence. But that's said out of love. I was chasing down the ice cream man one day. Like, I know that's so bad saying that. It sounds so bad. I chased down the ice cream man. Now, mind you, I'm giving y'all this visual right now. You got this 300-pound man running down the steps of the 4th floor, like bum rushing. And I'm getting to the ice cream man truck, right? And maybe it's because I'm used to my regular ice cream man. He takes credit cards. He takes debit cards. So I'm like running to get there. Next thing you know it, I got to the guy, and they didn't have what I usually get. So I ended up getting like a coconut popsicle. Gave it a coconut popsicle. I gave him the card. He said, cash only. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Cash only? He's like, yeah, buddy, cash only. I was like, fuck that. You can keep it. Because I was already, it's 90 degrees. I'm hot and sweltering. And on top of that, you don't take credit cards? Like, my dude, not to sound like that guy right now, but right now would be the perfect time to get one of them little card readers. Because 1, money is dirty. It is as dirty as my dirty blonde goatee I got going right now. Why would you put yourself in that position? I don't even take cash from people. Like, if I got change that's under $1, I tell them keep the change. I know that's not right. You can say sanitize and all that. I get that. But I'm not taking no chances. And yes, there's been celebrities and certain wrestlers who say, I'm not wearing the mask because of this, and I'm not wearing the mask because of that. Well, I'm wearing the mask for, one, my safety, because I got a kid to think about, and two, the state of Virginia plus D.C. will fine you if you're in a building with no mask on. And for what I've heard, D.C.'s fine is just as much as my rent. I'll wear the mask, okay? I'm cool with that. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Wearing the mask, it can really fool someone, because you see this cute woman walking by, and then, she's wearing the mask, and you want to spit some game, and then you talk to her, and she gives you her number, then she takes the mask off because she's smiling, then you see something you don't want to see. And women, it's vice versa. If you see that on the man, you feel like, what did I just done? And then they find you on social media. Block them. Block them. That's all I can tell you. But, yeah. It's just common sense. I would have made that adjustment to just say, we take cards. I get cash because kids, they're going to have, but come on now. There's even little kids who got debit cards now, too. I had a debit card when I was 16, So I was like, that ain't no excuse, bro. It really didn't help me out, I really wanted that ice cream. It was hot. Because at the same time, the past couple of days up until yesterday, my AC was out. So I'm on the 4th floor where the heat is beaming on me. It's between 85 to 90 degrees in my apartment. I'm sweltering. I'm hot. I'm miserable. I had a COVID test that same day, so my nose felt like it got violated by a Q-tip. And all I wanted was some ice cream. That's all I wanted. So yeah, I gave the guy a hard time about it. Guilty as charged. So because of that, I took my card, I got my keys, and I drove to the nearest 7-Eleven, which was a quarter of a mile from the apartment. And the same amount that I could have spent with that guy, 7-Eleven got my business that day. Can't get mad at me for it. You can't just disappoint a heavyweight like that. But I also noticed that a lot of restaurants are opening up, and it's getting very interesting on how that's going to be, because they always say practice social distancing. I'm just now comfortable to get takeout, because there's people that have been very, very low key, super safe. The other day, I ended up getting wings with little Daryl from Wingstop, and we had them delivered. And the guy who delivered them, he was covered from head to toe. I'm I don't know who's worse, you or the cameramen from Pro Wrestling Noah, because they'll wear the full white bodysuit. So I thought that was weird, but I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to question it. Not even going to question it. But it's just one of those things where so much was going on in there. It wasn't even funny. But I figured tonight, I was like, let me do an impromptu episode, because it's been, 2 weeks since I gave you guys an episode, so you're very overdue. But don't worry, it's not going to be a long episode, because, like I said, I'm pretty sure with it being 4th of July week, a lot of people are planning on doing their traveling, they're driving, they're packing. Me, I'm going to be chilling at home watching the Great American Bash. I don't know what year, but I'm going to watch it. Which also brings us to our July contest. So, the new t-shirt, hashtag Be Free and Join Mike World Order. We're doing a giveaway for one person in the month of July. Here's what you got to do. You got to subscribe to the podcast. You also got to repost the post on either Facebook or Twitter. And as soon as you mention that, that'll put you in contention of winning a free t-shirt. Because we have been doing giveaways in June. Nobody followed the directions because they didn't listen to the podcast. But that's okay. You know, that's just how it is. Everyone wants free stuff, but don't nobody want to put the work in to get it. I get it. But yeah, that's just how it is. Yes, I know, dude. You've been waiting 4 years on some merch. Look, I got you. I got you. You just need to let me know your size because you ain't no big dude. You know. Shout out to everyone that's on there. What's good? I don't mention names unless permission because of FCC regulations. So if I don't mention your name, even though you're saying something on the live chat, I'm not doing it on purpose. Bro, it's not lies, man. Come on. I got you. Maybe if you kept in contact with a dude more often, maybe I would have remembered you in June. Just throwing that out there. Not to sound like that dude, but I'm that dude. You know, I even did a little Hogan ear thing. You know, I think the last time I heard from you, you were picking on me for going blonde. That's okay, though. He flipped me off. Asshole. I still love you, bro. But, hey, what's good? Alright, so this one chick that just said hey to me. I used to have a thing for her back in the day. And my niece used to always call her auntie. I was like, will you stop calling her that? I know you like her, Uncle Michael. So I'm going to call her auntie. And y'all two could hook up. I mean, even her coworkers were like saying, hey, you know, ask her out. What's stopping you? Easy. She got a friend who's very jealous because every time I would like compliment a photo on her page, he would like butt in like, yeah, she does look good. Yeah, she's very beautiful. Yeah, I think she's beautiful too. And I'm like, what is this dude's problem? Like, this guy looked like I could just snatch him up and throw him across the room, you know? And yes, I still got that same raspy voice, and there's moments at night it gets even more raspier, and it is horrible. It is horrible. And I also see my, like I said, I don't say names, but I'm not going to bust her out, but I just saw a certain someone on that joined the video chat, and I just want to say I miss you so much. I just don't want to take no chances because I don't want to catch the Rona. Not saying that you would do, but you know. And yes, your friend is an asshole for that because he was getting in the way of what I wanted, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna back out. It's not worth it. It's not worth me having to like powerbomb this dude through the concrete, which probably wouldn't because his body's so small. I mean, I'm just like looking at him like, really? And he would always do like creepy posts saying, hanging out with my boo. I'm like, she ain't even dating you like that. And every like group photo, he's like all up on her like, that's my girl. I'm like, sit your ass down. Like, for real. And it's, I don't know. Not saying that I still holding a grudge about it, but I'm going public about it because it's funny. Like, because it is what it is now. She's a happily married woman with kids. I ain't trying to play homewrecker, but I'm letting it be known you should have been with Mike. Moving forward. I also want to mention oh man, it looked like I went crazy doing that barrage. I know. Memories of good old Buford. Yay. But since we're still on the talk of merch, I also came up with a second t-shirt too. And this one I did for my dad, because even though mom has the original Mini Big Mike uh, action figure, and she's gotten her custom made Mike World Order shirt because she had one too. Um, so I did one for pops, and it's funny because the inside joke he would always say whenever mom's cooking, if they like get in an argument or she's mad at him and she cooks, he would always tell me, if anything happens, go check the autopsy, boy. And I'm like, no problem. So also, the second Mike World Order t-shirt came out dedicated to my dad, the OG. And it's pretty much, it's blank on the front, but on the back, it says pretty much his quote, check the autopsy, son. And it's the quote from him. And it's got the Mike World Order logo under it. Whenever you guys get a chance, check that out. For sizes small up to XL, you're looking at 25 and under. Pretty much XL is $250, and then it adds another dollar for each size you go up. And they're up to 4X for all my heavyweight homeboys. The other T-shirt, the Be Free and Join Mike World Order. That shirt is also, I want to say 32. And once again, it's based on the size. Like, it's from small all the way to XL. It stays at that price. But then once you go up, it goes like a dollar for each size that's higher. So, just want to let you guys know that for those interested in the Mike World Order t-shirts. We got them in baby outfits. We got them in ladies' tank tops. My friend Crystal from the last episode of the podcast, she ended up purchasing a tank top because in the future, we're pretty much going to do future episodes of the podcast with her, because a lot of you guys, especially Twitter, a lot of you guys give a lot of reviews based on how she had a hot voice alone. Like, y'all wouldn't have cared what we talked about. Y'all just want to hear her talk. Well, she's part of the Mike Cook Guys brand, or the Mike World Order, along with many others, And it's funny, for a moment I thought I heard the Ice Cream Man, but it's the music I got playing in the background. I got paranoid. Because if it's that same Ice Cream Man, I'm going to bum rush and clothesline him. But, so, like I said, 2 new shirts came out. Contest going on in July. To a certain someone, I ain't forget about you. Just try keeping in contact with a dude. Everybody want free stuff, but then nobody want to keep in contact with a brother. I'm lonely. We're in a pandemic. So, yeah. But trying to figure out what else has been going on since then. Because, and that's the thing, a lot of people who heard that last episode, they kind of understood. And it's one of those situations when the subject of racism comes on. It's one of those things, you're not born with it. It's what you're around. It's what you're educated and fed to. If you don't know, then of course you're just gonna, go based on what's accepted where you're at, And it was one of those things I had to explain to her the whole nine, like, hey, this, can't do this, can't say this. People will take it the wrong way, no matter how, your intentions were for it. Not everyone has the same reaction that I have. My reaction, I don't care. Because I've been called worse, to where something like that not really going to bother me. So, it's just one of those things. Hey, it is what it is, y'all. Because that's one of the things I've started to learn too during this pandemic. I've said some low down, foul, trash talking stuff to people that, whether they deserved it or not, wasn't worth it. Even myself had to do a lot of self-improvement as a person, you know? Because it also made me realize who your true friends are, who really will, reach out to you in dark times and say, hey man, it's going to be all right. And for those, and you know who you are, thank you. Appreciate you guys so much. And it's pretty much those people I can count on one hand. I'd say 1.5. Because there have been people recently that, they've been there. So I'd say both hands. I'm not going to be that, and I just got done saying I'm not going to be that guy. Both hands. And yeah, you're right. Family is more than blood. Because you don't have to be blood to be family in my book. And like I said, the past couple of months, I've learned who ended up being part of that strong bloodline, and like I said, forever appreciated for it. So it's crazy how much in a half hour can just pass by just like that doing an episode. Because like I said, I'm not doing a full-blown episode because it's just me. I'm going solo tonight. But like I said, it was just an episode of me catching up. And I am going back to South Carolina in a couple of weeks, so that'll be awesome. But yeah, gonna make it do what it do, y'all. And that being said, I'm gonna pretty much put a nightcap on this episode already. I know it's only been close to 1.5 hours, but it's one of those things you want to make sure everyone goes noticed and covered. And guys, if you're still on the live chat, show's not over yet because now it's really about to get started because we have, hashtag WTFIPTA with Paul Tarango whenever he gets on. He said, I'll miss you, bro. I'm going to still be on Facebook Live. I'm just, signing off for the actual podcast because I'm not going to do a super long episode because this week it's 4th of July week. Now, probably next week's episode, we're going to have somebody on here. I can't say who, but a lot of people have been trying to redeem themselves that have been on past episodes. Hint, hint. For those who remembered on season 6, I fell asleep on the live stream, and some of y'all kept messaging me to wake up because of a certain guy being boring as hell because he made me fall asleep. Which, that's okay. He was nervous. He had the jitters. It was his first podcast. It wasn't what I expected. It was quite disappointed. I'm probably looking at maybe 2 weeks going back to South Kakalaki. 2 weeks and just for a few days because once August hits, that's D-Day. It's when we return, hopefully, to civilization. But until then, we're just going to let the good times roll, man. Enjoy life, because I'll tell you what, there is one advantage about this pandemic. I've been able to do things that I've never taken the time to do, and I've learned to appreciate that because I've always been 7 days a week, work. I'm not going to take a day off. I'm going to work. Like, what's the point, But this is Mike Cook signing off on the podcast, the Quarantine Sessions. New episode next week. Stay tuned. Appreciate you guys that's participated in the chat. And we'll be signing off with the new episode of, well, I'm not going to say the whole thing, but you guys get where I'm going. So, that being said, goodbye and good night. Bye!